Welcome back to the Hydro Mind podcast. On this episode, I'm going to tell you how to stay ready all year so you never miss a swell no matter what. Alright, Kyle Russ here back, and I got an awesome I'll try to make it quick, a little story here about what just happened on my recent surf trip. Now, you know that all my programs and everything I talk about, it's all about staying ready, everything you do between surf sessions, right? And pretty much my entire client base comes from two groups. People who are beginner surfers that are having struggle making progress, so they want to make those big leaps in progression, and people who have surfed their entire lives who have the responsibilities in their lives like family, jobs, so they're surfing less, so they find their surfing going down like this. And so I'm getting people to either make those giant leaps in progression or change that trajectory and then make a giant leap. So the reason my systems work is because I'm my perfect client. Just like that, the hair club for men, I'm not just the owner, I'm also a client. Well, I made these programs for myself and I test them, I try them, I use them. So when I push them out there to you guys, I make sure, I know that they work. I know that they're good because I use them every single day. So it's not just theory, it's stuff that I put into practice all the time. So I put myself in the ultimate test this recent surf trip because I went the longest I went without surfing. I'm not really sure, but it's over 10 years. With having a new baby, with COVID, canceling plans, work, it was crazy. The stretch went longer than I expected it to. So that's good. That's a good way to measure how well I'm able to stay in shape. But also, so when I got to the spot, there was an unusually sick swell for August. Now August in the summer here in Canada, typically the swell's on the decline and it's pretty chill. And there's usually always a wave, but it's nothing insane, right? So I was expecting that. I brought a longboard, but also brought my one of my short boards because just in case, right? There's always random swells, like a south swell will hit and light up the shores. So that's what happened. So I've been there in August many times and it's usually crap, basically crap. But I was willing to accept that. That's just all part of it, right? But we get there and the charts are showing as soon as we get there, it's supposed to be big. So it was so sick. It was overhead for 5 days. I was surfing 2 to 3 times a day. And so like that's the ultimate test. Long time without surfing and show up to a quality swell. That's what I'm always saying. The swells are coming, the swells are coming. So that part of that is about being patient and understanding when they're not there, they're gonna come, but it's knowing they're coming, so you have to stay ready. So that's the always ready part of my system. So I'd like to report that everything went insanely good. The one thing that stood out to me the most is that's the best shape I've ever been in my entire life. I've never paddled so good. I've never got out past the break so fast. I've never surfed so long. And what stood out, two things that's really stood out is how fast I was recovering because I've really been doing the low oxygen training for years. And because I wasn't surfing, I was training really hard on the breath. So the recovery, like normally like you're paddling out and you're tired and you make it out past the break and you take a bit to rest. Usually I'd take my rest period would be longer. Now my rest periods were down to like 10 seconds or less and I was ready to fully go again. So that's oxygen efficiency, that's muscular endurance, all the stuff I talk about, that's embedded in all my systems. So those are the things I want you to focus on for sure. The low oxygen training to get the oxygen efficiency, the paddle strength training, the surf specific paddle training to get the muscular endurance. It's so valuable. Fast recovery increases your wave frequency. Have you ever been out there when you paddle out and you're tired and a wave comes and you just don't have that strength to get into the wave? That doesn't happen when you have quick recovery. You can always get those waves. So wave frequency, the amount of waves you catch per hour kind of thing. And that's important. Second thing that really stood out to me is I never got sore. That's something that would always happen. You know, if you go on a surf trip, you're surfing 2-3 times a day. The next day you get sore and you got to push through the soreness before you really start to get those progressions in your strength. I went through the sore phase at home, which that's what I want you to do. I want you to not be sore on your surf trips. So do it at home. So leading up to the surf, I wanted to do a little test. So I had a few months. So I didn't do any paddle training for a while. And the 1 month before my trip, I did a ton. So I pushed hard. So I really robbed myself. Got the soreness in the beginning. Never had any soreness in training after the first few days. So I went through that phase. And then I was just growing. So when I went there, I was in the best shape ever. Also, I had a good foundation of nutrition and all the regular stuff I do, but the paddle training I only did for 1 month leading up to. So really, if you have to get ready for a surf trip, 2 weeks you could really change the game. 1 week you could go through the soreness, and then so you could skip that soreness and then be on the upward trajectory. But with 1 month especially, you'll go next level. So if you really want to level up your paddle game, it happens faster than you think, because it's such specific training, such a specific muscle group, and when you add the breath training, it's insane. So those are the 2 points: fast recovery and no soreness. There was no getting ready because I was ready. So I surfed amazing. And the last bonus tip I want to give to you is, so when I go out there, when I'm surfing, there's lots of locals, there's lots of day trippers, there's lots of learners, but so it was the busiest I've ever seen this beach in my entire life. I've been going there since I was 3 years old. I've been not surfing this spot, I didn't surf at 3, but I've been going there. And it used to be dead. There'd be literally 1 or 2 surfers in the water when I was a young kid. Now there's hundreds. You couldn't even find parking. But the best surfers still catch the best waves, and the best surfers are the ones in the best shape. So 99% of the people were all in the whitewater. They couldn't get out past the break, nor did they want to, most of them. So people out past the break, it was a small group, but still, the fast recovery, the no soreness, the explosiveness, all that stuff allowed me to get as many waves as anyone. And now this may sound funny to you, but I always measure myself against the group. You'll hear people say that you should only compare yourself to yourself, or don't compare yourself to people that are doing better than you. That's average thinking. I don't want you to think like that. It's so backwards. It's will keep you down. Like, here's a good example. Have you ever heard your mother say, "There's starving kids in Africa, you should appreciate all that you got," right? Well, you could always find someone who's doing worse than you, compare yourself to them, and then rationalize why you're only mediocre. You got to compare yourself to people who are doing better than you, but you got to do it while at the same time realizing that you could do the same, because they're a person, you're a person, you have the ability, maybe not be the best pro surfer in the world, but you can level up. So compare yourself, always compare yourself to people that are doing above you, knowing that you can do better as well. Use them as inspiration. So I always compare myself to the group. I don't do it in a competitive way, in the way that I'm trying to take waves off people. One of my favorite things to do is make sure I get my waves, and then when I'm getting set waves, I'm more inclined to let some pass and wave other people in who are struggling. So that's great. That makes the lineup better. So it's your ethical, moral responsibility to be in the best shape you can, to be out there. So you get your waves, and you share your waves too. So I want you to compare yourself to people who are better than you, and know that you can be better. Don't compare yourself to people in the whitewater, because that's not where you want to go. You'll always be pulled towards what you focus on. So focus on the level above you so you can get there. Another part of it is, when there's a lot of days where the pros are out in the water, I always sit by the pros. I get less waves when the pros are there, but I watch them. Where are they sitting? What are they doing? Everything about them, their body positioning. You learn so much more. What I lose in waves caught, I gain in knowledge gain, and that gives me way bigger leaps of progression. So to summarize, I had the longest layoff ever. So I don't know, I'm probably not the best landlocked surfer on earth. There's lots of people I know who are like semi-pro level, who have to leave for work or whatever, but man, I'm the best average surfer as far as fitness goes for being landlocked. I don't know anyone who's landlocked who can say they come out, never get sore, catch as many waves as anybody out there, and have a great time. So I don't want this to sound like bragging. I don't want to impress you. I want to impress upon you. This stuff's so easy, man. It's so easy. Paddle training is simple. You can do it at home. You don't need a gym membership. Breath training is free. Once you have the knowledge, you have that forever. So if you want this, it's like, that's why I call it surfing lifestyle design. So it's like basing your life around what's gonna happen or what's gonna be good in surfing. So lifestyle is like, make the paddle training a lifestyle, make the breath training a lifestyle, make the nutrition a lifestyle. And you will never have to get ready, because you'll always be ready. So when those sneaky swells come in, those like change your life kind of swells happen, you're on waves, you're not under waves. It's so important. It'll change your life. And if you have health concerns, if you're not in the shape you want to be, if you're not the surf you want to be, those things mix together. So like, you can use surfing as your motivation to get where you want to go. Compare people to who are above you, like a high performer should, and you'll be pulled up by that drive, by that vision, and you'll have the systems, the guaranteed 100% of the time work when used correctly systems that I can provide to you. So you want that kind of lifestyle? You want to surf great swells no matter what? Send me a message, comment on this video, comment on this podcast, wherever you're listening to this content, and I would love to help you out. I guarantee results. These systems work 100% of the time, and I'm living proof of it. I wish I took more videos while I was there. My plan was to take a shit ton of videos when I was there, but I was so busy surfing, I was so busy with family. But anyways, I'm happy to report that, you know, I don't want to say that I lose confidence, but when I spend tons of money on trips and stuff and I don't get waves because there's no swell, it's disheartening, and I'm like, man. But having a trip like this where I got like, I don't know, some of the best waves I've had in years, just really motivates me to get my systems out to you, because I want you to have that same feeling. I want you to be happy, healthy, strong, and catching great waves for years to come. So that's all I got for this trip. Compare yourself above, get that fast recovery, don't get sore, and surf the best swells no matter what. My name is Kyle Roth with Hydro Mind. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you soon.